Here we go. Let's go. Thanks for tuning in to Preface Media channel. Tonight we're going to have a great guest for you. Without further ado, let's get into the show. Joining us this show. Happy Sunday to everybody. Here in Atlanta, we're having some great weather. Everybody's checking out a couple of events like the Dogwood Festival downtown. So if you're sitting in your car, if you have your phone out, just go ahead and click on the link for Preface Media channel. We are here talking live this evening with videographer Rogers Williams. Hey, Rogers, you there?
Hey, I'm here, JB. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. Just sitting here talking to you on the radio on a lovely Sunday. Everybody, if you don't know who I am, my name is JD, here hosting Preface Media channel. You can also catch us on Twitter at PrefaceM and follow us on Instagram at JD515. So this evening I am so excited to have you here with us this evening, Rogers. I mean, we go way back as well. We've known each other for years. There's a lot of projects that we have been able to work with each other on and seen each other at a couple of events. So without further ado, let your clients and everybody know and your future clients know who you are and what you do. First of all, Rogers, where are you from? Tell us where you're from and how's your journey here?
I'm from a small city called Albany, and that's Albany, Georgia, not Albany, New York, but Albany, Georgia. But that's where I grew up in Albany, Georgia, and got started shooting videos when I was 15. My dad is a photographer, and just got started when I was 15 years old shooting videos, and here we are today. But that's where I grew up at. It's a small town, it's a small city, but there's a lot to learn everywhere that you go, and everywhere I go, I try to learn and make the most out of it.
Quaint little town, man. I've been down there several times. Taking business trips and delivering things, for a couple of clients. Is a very quaint town. I do believe there's a military base down there too. I do believe.
Yeah, the Albany Marine Corps Logistics Base. I've actually filmed for them, several times as well. They have me on speed dial. So, yeah, shout out to the Marine base down there.
Semper Fi. Those are my brothers and sisters down there, so we got to make sure we shout them out.
Definitely.
Now, when it comes to a couple of projects, for your dad exposing you to the medium of video, what are some things that your dad had actually done with you to really spark your interest in the field?
Yeah, well, he did a lot of photography. He does video as well. But when I was, 14, 15 years old, I would go around and help him kind of set up at weddings and, help set up the lights and different things like that. And it was one moment where, I saw, I guess he had a client, it was a wedding, and this lady seemed like she was just kept heading the money. Like, the money didn't stop. I was like, man, how much money did she hand you? And he was saying, oh, don't worry about that. And I think he gave me, a few dollars for helping out. But I was like, man, all you did was walk around and take pictures of people, you smiling, joking, having fun with people. I said, you didn't even work. That wasn't any work. And I said, I can do that. And he said, okay, well, do it then. And I really wanted to go into video, though, because I like motion pictures and video and, all that. So he got me a video camera when I was 15, a little Sony 8mm Handycam. And I started doing some class projects in school and just kind of took off from there.
Man, that's a lovely story to hear, man. Especially when you actually have your father showing you different things in different areas. You know, his hobby, which was his lifestyle, and his motivation, able to pass that on to his son. So I always love to hear stories about that.
Right.
Now, kind of bring.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah. Well, I know you mentioned what kind of projects. Basically, what happened was he would let's say that he would book a wedding, and I mean even to this day still, but let's say if he would book a wedding, and they would hire him to do the photography, and he would ask them, you know, hey, do you guys have someone to shoot the video for your wedding? And 7 times out of 10 they would say no, we don't have anybody. And he would say, okay, well, is it okay if my son comes along, to film? He's, just getting started. He won't charge you anything, but if you like what you see, then, you can work out a payment with him. And, 10 times out of 10, after they saw the video, they wanted it. So that's kind of how I got started, in the real deal business, making money.
Wow. Now, what are some of the things that you learned when you first start working your camera? I mean, can you tell us a story where you were just like, oh, my God, I really got to get this to work? It's always a story and something in our fields where, it was a lesson learned that we could have done something a little bit better. You have one of them stories for us?
Yeah, well, it's always just everything is like, it's always a progression, So maybe one day I might have been on a shoot where I needed some additional lighting. And I was like, oh, man, I got to have some lights next time. Then one time, I may have been on the shoot early on, and I may have needed another microphone. And I was like, it would be nice if I had a microphone. So I went by Radio Shack, and I bought like a little $10 little handheld microphone. And, it was cheap, but it got the job done back then. So it was a lot of progression. The camera was pretty much automatic. It was pretty much, point and shoot and video, but it was just a whole progression of everything behind the actual camera, doing negotiations. I was afraid to do that. I was nervous asking people for the money, telling people how much things cost. That was pretty hard, man. 16, 17, 18 years old. That was some of the things I had to overcome.
Yeah, because when I started off my business, one thing that I hated to do was ask for money. I don't know why. That's just one of the things that you need to keep yourself in business and to put food on your table. But when you're first learning, I mean, what we want to do is we want to promote our craft, and we want to promote, hey, this is what I'm about. This is what I could do for. I mean, we could talk about that all day, but the hardest thing is, yeah, can I get the check?
Yeah, that's
and I had to learn there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, of course, there's a professional way to get that done, but we really have to make sure we market ourselves at our value. That's a fair price and giving the customer a good quality project.
That's true, and that's myself included, and that's a lot of things. When you first starting off, you may not think you're as good as somebody who's been doing it for years and years and years. But on the flip side, you may be even better because you're coming into the whatever field you're in with a fresh new set of eyes. You haven't been tainted by the world and the reality and bad business deals going wrong, and you're just there with an open heart, and you're just trying to have fun and make a little money. So on the flip side, a lot of times we can be charging a lot more, especially small businesses, just getting started off. And, that's one thing that I always focus on with my dad as well. Like every year, I would tell my dad, hey, man, we're taking the price up $100. Every year it goes up $100, for certain services. And, it's just progressing. That's all it's about. It's a natural progression.
Now, what field or what genres of video production that do you work in right now? I mean, do you do weddings? Do you do videos? Do you do movie shoots? Can you let your clients and your prospective clients know what fields that you specialize in?
Yeah, pretty much. I've shot any and everything. I've shot everything from weddings. I've even shot a funeral, several funerals, weddings, documentaries, music videos, commercials. I shoot a lot of commercials. So just pretty much anything, that people need to be shot, I can shoot it.
Now, I was able to look at your latest project that you work with your client Jordan Sparks, I do believe, in 2 Chainz, that you just got done shooting a video. You actually have that on Vimeo.com. So that anybody that wants to check that out, you can go to www.vimeo.com/cinematic, and you're able to see Rogers Williams' work there. And I noticed you have actually a little library of a couple of things that you've done that really shows off your work and your production style. I was very impressed.
I appreciate that. So I got a call from actually a fellow videographer friend of mine. He couldn't make it to this shoot, and, he passed it along to me, the power of networking. And, I got a call from Sony Music, and, they were like, hey, we need a behind-the-scenes documentary shot for this music video. So, growing up, I would always buy movies and tapes, DVDs. I would always buy it to, watch the bonus features, the director's commentary, the deleted scenes, the behind the scenes, how they actually made it. So for me, that was like a dream come true right there, because that's something that I love to do already. I already love to see how things are made and to make it. So now I'm getting paid to do the same thing now. Okay, let's go. So they were very impressed with the video I gave to them. They liked it. I don't even think there was any edits that they wanted out. Maybe
wow.
A little bit shorter. But I think we made it a little bit shorter, and maybe rearranged one of the interviews, and that was it. It was a go.
And that's always a good thing to hear. Client satisfaction there. Now I have a real quick question for you, and this actually pertains to your field. Now, as opposed to when you came into the genre to now, obviously you've put in your homework. This is like a quarterback or somebody on an NFL team studying plays or studying video on another team so they can get better. Mm-hmm. What is it about your craft that you like to pass on to those who want to get into the field, or things that you observed while you're in the field that you need to have in order to succeed? I know we all bring something good to the table in our professions as we work every day, but is there anything that you've noticed that from the time you've gotten into now that we kind of gotten away from, that we just need to stick to that and bring back to the forefront to make us better?
Yeah, from a technical point of view, a lot of people always ask, hey, what camera are you shooting with? Or, what editing software do you use? And, it's good to have, the best camera that you can afford, or the hottest software that's available. But, I've always been taught and learned that, the best camera is the one that you have. So to try to, I would say to anybody that's trying to get into production, use what you have and try to maximize that. I mean, think about the Blair Witch Project back in the day that they shot that on some cameras they bought from Walmart. So
yeah, and they had that reality feel to it.
Right, and they made millions of dollars. So the main thing that you want to bring to the table is your creativity, because that can't be taught. That's just trial and error. That's how you see the world. So the main thing is to keep learning, because the more that you learn, the more perspectives on life that you have. So I mean, even currently right now, I'm learning 3 languages this year. That's just to broaden my perspective of the world. So and I learn about other things that's outside of cinematography, all the time. But by doing that, you're able to relate to more people. You're able to see a new way of seeing the world. And as you see all these new viewpoints on life, your artwork can reach higher levels, because you're seeing things from different perspectives and not just one perspective that you've always known.
And so we are back with Rogers Williams. We're talking about videography, where he's from. He's from Albany, Georgia. He's been telling us about his craft and different things that he has picked up along the way. Rogers, if I could ask you another question, sir, okay. I would like to know your progression to Atlanta, into the Atlanta market. What brought you here? How'd you get here? Working in your field. and what projects did you start with when you got up this way?
Yeah, so basically, after high school, I attended Georgia Southern University, and I pursued a BS, a bachelor's degree in broadcasting, and a minor in journalism. So, of course, I was very passionate. Even at 18, I was very passionate about, videography, camera, cinematography. So I went to school at Georgia Southern. Once I graduated there in 2004, shortly thereafter, 2005, I transitioned to Atlanta because I graduated technically at the end of 2004 when I got my degree, and then I stayed like one extra semester. And anyway, I came here to Atlanta in 2005. It was the same time as Hurricane Katrina happened. So as I was coming here, everybody from Katrina was getting here too, and that was kind of how it happened coming to Atlanta. And actually, a little backstory. One of my professor, my advisor, and I put that in quotations, he advised me not to come to Atlanta. My college professor in the broadcasting department, he said, you know what, man, Atlanta may be a little bit too big for you. You may want to go back home to Albany or whatever, this or that. And, a lot of times people are going to say things that, you have to have your own mind. And so that's one thing that college taught me is not only to have book smarts, but you got to have street smarts. And street smarts also is using common sense. So to me, it wasn't common sense to move back home or move to a smaller market. I was like, let me go where the big fish are. Let me go to the big city, and let me come to Atlanta. And if I don't make it in Atlanta, then I can always go down to a smaller market. So, I get
now. Was it?
Yeah.
Was it culture shock getting here from Albany to Atlanta? Was that a big change for you, or did you adjust quite quickly?
You know what? I adjusted quickly. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than what it was, but back then, it wasn't GPS wasn't like it is now. I had the fold out map of Atlanta, and I was looking at the little X's, and so I was learning as I was going along. And one thing that I took with me, even in college as well, was my passion, for film, but also passion to meet people and network. So, I could be, in Albany, I could be in Atlanta, I could be in New York, which I have been in New York. It doesn't matter where I am, people are people. And so all I need to do is connect with these people and show them what I can do. And, we can all, make it a better place together.
Now, tell us, how did you land your first project in Atlanta?
Oh, man, funny that you ask. Okay, let me tell you that story. When I moved to Atlanta, normally, I guess people don't do it now, but the old school way was you move to a new city and you do what? You get a new phone number. That's
right.
The area code for that city. People don't really do that now with cell phones, but I'm old school. I'm a little old school with it. So, it was a cell phone that I got. So I got a cell phone through, I think it was AT&T, Singular back then. And for that first month, they gave me unlimited text messages. Of course, we take that for granted now. But
yeah, that was real big back then. Just a message. I remember they used to charge us for that.
Right. And then, when it first came out, you couldn't even check somebody that was outside of your network. So
I know I was balling with a cell phone, had a cell phone on the hip, knowing I can't call nobody, and my bill gonna be crazy.
Right. But okay, I can't turn this thing on after 9 o'clock. So this is what I did. I had about maybe 500 or 600 contacts in my phone, and since I had the free text messages, I said, okay, each day I'm gonna text about 100 people. And the text said, it was a simple text. Hey, guys, this is Rogers. This is my new number. I'm in Atlanta now, and I'm still shooting videos. So if you know anybody who needs a video, let me know. So I sent out about 600 or 700 text messages. I got one response back. From a friend of mine, and she said, "Hey, my pastor needs somebody to film his sermon." I said, "Okay, cool. When?" She was like, "This week." So, boom, that was $300. Then the pastor there who was there was another pastor who was there, and he was like, "Hey, man, I got a week-long revival coming up in a week. What will you charge me to film for 6 days straight?" So we worked out a little deal, but I forgot how much I made off of that. Maybe it was a few thousand, maybe $2,000-3,000 from that.
Wow. That's the power of networking right there.
Yeah, so that's literally how I made my first dollars, in Atlanta, literally.
Did you frame the first dollar like we tend to always do? Did you put it in a frame and sign it and put it up on the wall?
Man, it was no time to frame it. I had to eat. So, I still had bills to pay. That one gig seemed kind of glorious, but keep in mind, I'm still unknown in Atlanta. So, I'm making calls. I'm trying to network with people, and then, people are turning me down because they're like, "Oh, well, I'll just get the guy who filmed T.I. or, Ludacris or whatever, Like, they wanted people who had these long resumes. And I was like, well, look, I got a lot of years of experience in a degree. That should be enough. And, it wasn't enough. So, there was a learning curve, on that end of the game that I had to kind of go through after that.
All right, and we're back on Preface Media channel with Rogers Williams. If you're just joining us right now, videographer, long resume, a lot of work that he's done, shooting videos, music, commercial, things of that nature. He just got done telling us about a story of how he got started here in Atlanta and how he got his first gig. So it's always good to hear how things work out when you're in your craft and in your field. Persistence is the key. This man just told us he sent out, Roger, what'd you say, 600 text messages?
Oh, man. It was probably 600, maybe a little bit more, but, about 600.
And he got one response, but check it out. One response is what got you rolling out of 600, and you didn't even give up. So you just got a church revival that you had shot for a week, didn't have a chance to frame the first dollar you had to eat. Fast forward to now. What do you have going on now? Tell us about some recent projects. This is the time to brag on yourself, man. Tell us your website. Tell us everything. Tell us about your projects and things that you're doing right now.
Right. Okay. Well, of course, my official website is coming soon. That's cinematicproductionsatl.com. But for now, a portfolio of my work can be seen on vimeo.com/cinematic. But current projects, as you just mentioned earlier, just came off the one with Jordan Sparks featuring 2 Chainz. That was for her new single, Double Tap. So I did the behind-the-scenes video for that. So if you see bits and pieces of that video floating around on the internet, I shot and edited that video. But yeah, I'm working with a lot of good people. As you know, Jules Nobles that that was on your show last week. Doing some nice work with her, some commercials and other work. Also working with Tia Green of Libe PR, doing like a docu-series. Now I wish I could go into it a little bit further, but she's had a few networks are looking at her, so this could be the launch of something big right there. And also,
and I like to pause right there real quick. I don't mean to interrupt your story, but there I want to make sure that we are about networking, Rogers. We've always done networking. I had the opportunity to talk to Tia Green, and I'm gonna tell you, she's a phenomenal person. She's going places. She's doing a lot of things, just as yourself. I am blessed to be around a lot of people with positive energy. She has a lot of positive energy. So thank you for turning me on to her. And she's actually going to be on the show as well. So we'll be putting out show times there. So I just wanted to make sure I plugged her as well. Go ahead, Roger. What else you got going on?
Yeah. She's real nice. And I even told her this, and I said publicly, there are a lot of people that come to me, on a weekly basis to film like reality shows or, certain kind of shows. And, believe it or not, I do turn down a lot of work too. A lot of people will say, oh, yeah, we got a network looking at us or this or that. But, I've known Tia from the past, and I know that she's a strong businesswoman about business. So, for me, it was a no-brainer, doing some work with her. So happy that you'll be having her on your show coming up soon, and people need to, check her out. Also, next week I'll be headed to Spain next week.
Oh my gosh! Tell us about that trip. What's going on there?
Yeah, so a music artist by the name of Travis T. I actually went to Spain with him maybe three years ago to film a documentary in Spain. Yeah, he's a music artist. He's right here out of Atlanta. He sings and raps in Spanish, English and Spanish. And so this time, we're going out there to shoot a music video. And they're going to have a big festival also that's going on that we're going to be in the midst of. And, a lot of, other things that's going on that's just going to be kind of crazy. So I'm actually headed out next Tuesday to Spain, to Sevilla. So we'll be shooting the music video in Sevilla, and the video name of the song is called Sevilla.
Are you going to upload any of that footage while you're there to Vimeo so people can check that out while you're there?
I may be uploading a little bit to Vimeo, and I also have a side YouTube channel called Mr. I Will Fly There, and that's a vlog channel that I have, and it's basically like the behind the scenes of my life. So I'm going to be taking people from airport to airport, all the way there. So and then on the ground, so seeing it from my eyes, on a personal level. But I'll also be uploading the video as well, the main video on Vimeo. But for the day by day access, probably check out my Mr. I Will Fly There channel on YouTube.
Okay, and I certainly have to make sure I check that channel out too, and make sure that is listed in the show credits as well. So our listeners who are listening live right now, or if they don't have a chance to tune in right now in our archive, they can actually go ahead and click on that and see all the work that you have been doing.
Right.
Can you let us know about a project that just stood out that was really impactful for you, where you just felt that, wow, this is what dreams are made of? I mean, it could be from any perspective, just from a learner perspective, a personal perspective. Was there any project that kind of stood out to you that was kind of personal to you that really hit home?
Well, right now, I would probably say that I don't know. There's several projects. Two projects in particular. Probably the one with Travis T back in 2012. That was mine and his first time out of the country. So for me, that was it was crazy. Leaving the country and on a 9-10 hour flight. You in a land where they don't speak English like that. We caught a bullfight and several other crazy events that happened. So for me, that first trip to Spain back in 2012, that was a game changer because I already had my passport, and like I said earlier, I always loved progression and learning new things. So this was, a combination of all of that, learning new things, seeing new things, and then I got to shoot a documentary as well. It was like a 12, 13-minute documentary. Came back in this for narration. So that project was a game changer for me personally and professionally. And recently, I would say the shoot with Jordan Sparks and 2 Chainz, that's probably got the most likes I've ever had, on Facebook. People were going crazy. So probably that one, because I was hired by Sony Music. So to date, that's probably the biggest company that's hired me to do work for them. So I would say those two gigs right there were kind of game changers.
Well, obviously you're doing some quality work with Sony Music because they keep calling you you've referenced them several times in a couple of projects that you've done. So obviously, it seems that they're satisfied. Now, what can we look for in the next coming months? Where's Rogers going to be? What do you have going on?
Oh man, well personally, you can catch me down in South Beach, Miami, on the personal level every 2 to 3 months. But other than that, just more videos, more progression. You know, I have new clients that pop up all the time that want all kind of videos. So from the docuseries with Tia Green, with Libby PR. Working with Jules Nobles, finishing up her projects as well, you know, putting those out soon. And, you know, have some new projects. And I also have some personal projects coming out as well where, I'm going to be embarking on doing a documentary on centenarians, I forgot how to say the word. But basically, you know, people who live to be over 100 years old. So I want to kind of scour the earth and kind of talk to these people and see, you know, how are they living? You know what? You know, and what effects on the environment have, because now we're seeing fewer people who are living to be past 100 in certain concentrated areas. So just doing more documentaries, more films. I just got some new camera equipment, so you know it's that progression. So it's taking things to a new level now. So now it's a DSLR camera, so now I'm buying lenses for it and this and that to change up the look of the videos, to add even an extra layer of extra quality to it. So, you know, things on the up and up.
Now, you'd have a Twitter handle. Everybody has a Twitter handle now. So then again, you know, if you want to check out Preface Media on Twitter, it's at Preface, PREFACEM, at Preface M. What's your Twitter handle, Rogers?
Yeah, my Twitter is Cinematic2199.
Cinematic2199?
Right. And the 2199 is because I'm back from the future. So I'm here to, you know, help everybody, help us all navigate together to the future. And I'm a futurist at heart. I'm a futurist as well. I can go into that for days, but, you know, yeah, I love talking about the future as well. So, yeah. Now we can't wrap this
up either. You know, you're into cinematography. I mean, we need to know what kind of genres of pictures and movies that you like to look at now. So what things do you like to look at?
Oh man.
Is it Star Wars? Is it Need for Speed, Fast and Furious? Tell us.
Yes, all of the above. All of the above. If it's a good story, look, man, I watched The Notebook one time and just to see what it was about, and you know, I just shed a tear, but you know, I was like, okay, I feel you. But I love all kinds of genres, and really, I like to watch. Sometimes I will go like on Netflix and I'll watch foreign films, and I'll watch genres that I will watch a movie that I normally wouldn't watch. You know, just because you know it's all about stepping outside of your comfort zone. But what I love action films. I love sci-fi, and when you combine, I love sci-fi action films because you know. You can see a lot of things are predicted a lot of futuristic things are predicted in these movies. So when you're watching a movie like 10, 15 years ago and you see like flat screens all around, I'm like, oh man, that would be cool one day if we had flat screens. Then next thing you know, everybody has a flat screen.
Yeah, everybody has a flat screen.
You know, so the next thing is a hologram. And then the next thing now, I love the movie In Time with Justin Timberlake, where in the near future they're going to be able to reverse the aging process of humans, and basically freeze you at a certain age. In that movie, it was 25. But right now, scientists have already successfully reversed aging in small animals like mice and all that kind of stuff. So the future is going to be very, very exciting for those who embrace it and embrace change.
Now, to those who are just tuning in on your smartphones by clicking the link, Preface Media channel here at Blog Talk Radio, or if you want to dial in 646-716-4700, that number is not going to change. You can be able to listen to this Blog Talk channel at any time when you have time. So make sure you pump it out. Get your friends to know who Rogers Williams is, the projects that he's doing here in Atlanta. He's working with some wonderful people, as he said before, Tia Green, Jules Nobles. We're working with the Miracle Marketing here on Blog Talk Radio. I mean, we love to get these people's stories out. We actually have a new channel, a new show list that's coming out next month, so we'll be tweeting that out. We'll make sure you can follow us on Instagram at JaydJayd515 at Instagram. You can also check it out at Preface M, at Preface M on Twitter, and here at Blog Talk Radio, Preface Media Channel. Hey, Rogers, I just want to thank you for stopping by this evening, taking time out of your day. I do understand that you had to sit down right now. You were about to go out for a shoot. You're waiting for a little word there. But I appreciate you taking some time out and sitting still for a minute.
Oh, yeah, no problem, JD. And anytime, man, I'm glad I could be here. Life is a natural progression, like I always say, and I'm always learning and evolving. So, man, I'm glad to see that you're evolving with your show, and I'm looking to see more shows, like this out there. And we need more shows like this out there, man, to kind of inform people and, let everybody have a voice. So,
well, this is not your last time on the show. Now you're gonna be back, so okay. This ain't goodbye. So, anytime you want to come back on the show, we're gonna have you on.
Well, maybe I'll check back in sometime after Spain and let you know how that went, and after I get the video edited and all that.
That sounds good. I look forward to that.
Oh yeah.
All right, everybody out in Blog Talk Land, this is Preface Media Channel here on blogtalkradio.com. Just like to thank videographer Rogers Williams for stopping by, letting us know what his projects are, where he came from, his humble beginnings, and where he's going. All right, Rogers, you have a good night. We're going to end the show with some light music here. And thank you very much for tuning in this evening.